Were you pleasantly surprised how the knee reacted last year through 82 games?
Yeah, I mean, there were some days, especially late in the season, where the wear and tear started to build up, and you feel it. I mean, like we talked about from game one of the exhibition series, you start getting sore and beat up, and I think even on a good knee, I probably would have been feeling it, but after having surgery on it and then not going through that kind of, I don't want to say torture, but that kind of a regimen for 82 games, you started to feel it, and but that was nothing more than a little bit of aches and pains that just come with having surgery. I think anyone that's had surgery would tell you the same thing, and it was better than I could have expected.
How long were you in Montreal this off-season after you guys finished up? How long were you here before you went back to Kelowna?
I was probably another 3 to 4 weeks before I went back to Kelowna. I took some time and went down south and got away from everything for a little bit, but then I came back to Montreal and stuck around for another week or so, and then headed back out west.
Did you come back during the summertime at all? You talked about maybe the Grand Prix, maybe coming back for a bit.
Yeah, you know, I talked about it. I always love coming back to Montreal, especially in the summertime. It's such a beautiful city here in the summertime. And, I just never got around to doing it. Usually I come for the hockey school, and you know, I think they had a lot of guys this year that came out for that, so they didn't need me, and I was pretty busy back home with a lot of different things going on and charity events and stuff, so it was tough to get away this summer.
New Year's Day you signed the 6-year contract. You've long spoken about your affection for this organization and the fans. What does it mean to you to be here for the long term, knowing that you are locked into Montreal?
I mean, that to me means a lot. Like I've told you and I've told everyone from day one, that once I came here, I got an even greater respect for this organization and this city and what hockey is all about here in Montreal. And there's still a group of us that have been here for a few years that started something together, and I don't want to leave here until we finish what we started. I've said this over and over again, there's no greater city than Montreal would be to win a Stanley Cup. You see small bits of it from '93 when they won, and you hear stories and you talk to old players that went through it. You know, you couldn't imagine that being anywhere else. And I don't want to win it anywhere else. I want to win it right here in Montreal, and to have the opportunity to stay here for 6 years and grow and build with the group of guys and the staff that we have here. I mean, that means everything to me.
In the days before the lockout, Michel Therrien, I sat downstairs in his office, and he told me that he'd sat with you just a day or so before, and you guys had a long talk. What did you and Michel have to share between yourselves about your situation and his returning to Montreal?
You know what, we didn't really talk so much about me personally or him personally. We talked about some of the issues that had maybe gone on here in the past. Talk about maybe what some of the reasons could have been for some of the struggles and some of the things that worked and what didn't work, and that was real brief. It was more to talk about what we were going to try to become moving forward, and it was actually a great eye-opener for me, because that was the first time I'd had a chance to sit down and talk with the coach, and to see the excitement that he had just explaining to me some of the things that we were going to do, how excited he was to get on the ice with the players and work on new systems and new drills and a different philosophy and a different way of thinking the game, and bringing that winning attitude and that winning tradition back to Montreal. You know, it got me all excited to get back on the ice, and that's what makes this whole lockout even worse, because the excitement has grown so much for us to get back out there and be a team and work towards, you know, the ultimate goal. Put on hold is difficult, because, like I said, having that conversation with the coach was great, and you know, we're all excited to try to get going here again.
Jacques Martin left. His position was replaced by Randy Cunninworth, who was placed in a very difficult spot, obviously. Randy kept a lot of the same systems that Jacques was using. Michel said that there will be a change in culture in the dressing room based on his systems and what he wants to do. Is that the sense you got from him in discussion with him as well? I think you just alluded to that there'll be some changes for sure for you guys.
Absolutely, and I think change is good. You know, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. I think we need change. We need change in philosophy and the way we play. Obviously, the way we played last year wasn't good enough, and so that needs to be changed. And And I think more so than anything systematically, anything, philosophically, the attitude has to change. No matter what system you put in place, no matter what is going on the ice structurally, it's the attitude of the group. Do guys want to do it? Are we fully committed? Is everyone willing to pay the price for the guy beside them? Are guys here for the right reasons? And I think that attitude, that winning attitude, has to be consistent from day one all the way through to our last game of the season if we want to have any kind of success. And I think that's something that he had talked about being very big in his books, is making sure that we're going to play together, we're going to play as a team. He's going to push us, he's going to push us hard. There's going to be days that we probably don't like it, but that's okay. As long as it brings us together as a team, it'll be better in the long run.
For maybe the last 3 seasons since the 2009 armada of free agents came in, your leadership on this hockey club has really been by committee, if you will. There are many seasoned players who all bring different qualities to the mix, where Brian Giunta is the guy wearing the C and will be the guy who leads by example largely, and Brian has spoken to that many times. Your reputation is such that you're the kind of guy who will get up in the room and will peel the paint off the walls if you feel that is the need. Talk a little bit about your leadership and how you view it on this team.
Well, I think, like you said, there has to be leadership by committee. You can't have one guy in the room that acts as a dictator that says this is the way it is, and unless you have everyone on board, it doesn't work. And so that means you need to have 20 leaders in the room, 20 leaders on the ice. Guys are all going to lead in their own way. And for me, it's just to be me. I mean, I'm not going to go out and try to be somebody else. I'm not going to try to lead or do something because someone else said this is the way it should be done or this is the way you should act. Part of being a leader is being true to yourself, standing up for what you believe in, standing up for what's right. And there's still lots to learn about that. I learn and lean on the older guys a lot. I talk to Brian a lot, Eric Cole, who's been around for a lot. Guys about the way I act and how it affects guys. And you learn there's a time and a place. I think maybe in years past, I might get upset at wrong times and lose my mind, and it's not effective. It's not beneficial to the team. So I'm still learning on what I have to do and how I should act in order to be an effective leader, but those things all come with experience.